notifications.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome back. It's good to see you all. We are back for episode 4 of the Help Action today. For the start of our programming tonight, Tommy, if you'd like to take it away and tell everybody about our charity.
Sure, yes. As you may have just seen in our video, we are currently raising funds for the Transgender Law Center. Transgender Law Center started in 2002 and is the largest trans-specific, trans-legal organization in the United States. They have done a ton of work already for transgender and gender nonconforming people. They've helped set precedents and victories in areas including employment, prison conditions, education, immigration, and healthcare. In addition to their legal work, they're also organizing community-specific programs such as Black Trans Circles, the Disability Project, the Black LGBTQIA Migrant Project, and Positively Trans. And all of these empower and help transgender and gender nonconforming folks across America. So thank you again for tuning in and for helping us to support a great cause.
Thank you. After that, we have Robin, who's going to kind of get us up to speed on where we're at with our donation so far.
Yeah, so, we started off with, I think, a donation goal of, $1,000? And y'all blew through that way quicker than we expected. So we're currently at, I believe, 1,355, which is pretty awesome. Thank y'all so much for making this happen. And just wanted to let you know, you can donate in the chat anytime. You can also now go to thehelpaction.com and donate even when we're not streaming.
Ooh.
And I think Nero's going to talk about that whole website thing a little bit more.
You may have heard of websites.
Should I talk about that now?
Yeah, if you'd like to, go for it.
Yeah, so over the weekend I put together a little website with all of our links with the Twitch, the YouTube, the Twitter. It's just thehelpaction.com, and you can bookmark that so you have all of our information at your fingertips anytime at all to show your friends, people on the bus. Just everything is there. Thehelpaction.com. I'll stick the email on there too.
Awesome, thank you. And yeah, special thanks from all of us to you, Nero, for setting that up and getting our domain parked and all that kind of stuff. So we appreciate it. It is very appreciated. And then lastly, we have Iris to talk to us about schedule.
Sure, of course. We're going to be here for the entire month of December. Coming up after tonight, we air every Wednesday at 7 p.m., so you can expect further episodes of the Help Action to go up on the 16th of December, the 23rd, and also closing out the year on the 30th. Very excited to spend the rest of the month with y'all doing some swords and some magic and some other talking bits.
Let's do those swords.
Yeah.
Let's do swords. Does anybody else have anything else they want to talk about before I jump into recap?
Did we mention the social medias?
Yep. Yeah,
we did.
on the website.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. I'm excited. That's something I'd like to mention.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and discuss what the party has encountered so far.
Yeah.
So, to recap, you began your journey in Neverwinter, where you embarked with a mining cart full of supplies hired by your friend Gundren Rockseeker to deliver those supplies to the small mountain town of Phandalin. He rode off ahead with his hired muscle, this agent of the Lord's Alliance named Sildar Hallwinter, and you soon discovered that along his path, you were to follow him. A few days behind him, along his path, he was ambushed, waylaid, and then captured by a hill giant named Clarg and a band of kobolds under this giant's control. Seeking answers, you tracked this band of kobolds to their hideout, a small cave in the hills, where, upon entry, you were caught in a trap. The kobolds created a rock slide, sealing off the door behind you and your passage forward, but this rock slide also opened a new and unexplored chamber of this cave, wherein you dealt with the giant frogs and carnivorous fungi within. From this cavern, you were able to spy on one of these kobold leaders within this band, and with that kobold leader, you could see that he was in the process of torturing Gundren's hired hand, Sildar. With some clever disguise work and a big natural 20 from Glass, you were able to convince these kobolds that their leader was actually the imposter. And you initiated a distraction, sending them off elsewhere into the cavern, while you dragged their leader, Ymik, and your compatriot, Sildar, back into this newly discovered cavern for a bit of a conversation. During this conversation, you discovered that Gundren and Sildar were attacked on the road. Sildar was left at this cave, but Gundren and his three brothers had discovered this long-lost cavern with enough wealth in it somewhere to build entire cities. This cavern is called Wave Echo Cave, and Gundren, along with his map to this location, was captured and taken away to a faraway castle named Cragmaw Keep. The person orchestrating and pulling the strings behind the scenes for all of this, both directing the kobolds and the giant that directs the kobolds, is a mysterious figure known as the Black Spider. After speaking with Sildar, you began to question Ymik as well, who confirmed that Clark does answer this Black Spider character, and that Ymik had a bit of a plan. He hoped to stage a mutiny, wherein he could take control of this small band of kobolds, and to do so, he was going to use a small magical box that would shrink the giant Clark to a manageable size and fight him. He had been attempting to rally kobolds, but in fear of having his mutiny discovered, he had not gotten very far until the party entered, providing perfect opportunity for this plan to be set in motion. So the party concocted a plan and executed it. Worked flawlessly. You were able to shrink Clark and his pet saber-toothed tiger Ripper down to a much smaller size, and a massive battle ensued, and after some near-death experiences and being beaten bloody with the massive club of Clark, he eventually fell dead with a sword in his chest. We now resume in the wake of this battle, with our heroes still breathless and badly wounded from the fight, inspecting the hoard that Clark has amassed in these boxes, from waylaying travelers and being left unchecked for so long. That, what would you like to do?
Well, we can now say we've killed a hill giant.
Hey! That would be fantastic on the old resume.
Yeah.
You're looking a little rough around the edges there, Glass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Glass.
Yeah.
So, I was kind of thinking, I don't think any of us like seeing you get minced into mulch every fight. And seeing as I'm a warlock, I'm going to mostly be doing ranged attacks with my magic. And I have this crossbow that I brought with me, but I don't know if I'm going to be needing it that much. Why don't you just hang on to it for me, okay? Because you need a way to fight that isn't getting right up in people's faces, because you're our healer, and we need you to stay alive so we all can stay alive.
Yeah.
You can... This isn't a knock on your abilities. You did amazing. You were playing some Smash Mouth gameplay out there. But I really want to make sure that you don't, like, super duper die.
Yeah.
Just that no one's ever compared me to Smash Mouth before.
Hey, now, you're an all-star, okay?
Oh my god.
I just want to help you get your game on so you can go play.
Oh my god.
Get out of my brain!
It is in the middle of this conversation that you watch as Sildar, using his greatsword in its sheath as a crutch, hobbles his way in, his leg still broken. As he makes his way in, Glass and Bree, as you still stand next to the dead body of Clarg, I need you both to make a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
Okay, nat 20.
Okay, nice.
So, yeah, 25.
10.
10. And is exactly what you needed. Thank goodness. The club that Clarg had been wielding begins to tremble in the dirt. And then expands to a massive size. It does knock you heavily in the shin, Glass, but not enough to cause any real damage.
Can I just sit down on it? It knocks me over to just sit on it.
It's now basically this massive log that looks like it would have been placed in the area for seating. As you take a seat, you notice that the body of Clarg is beginning to tremble in a similar manner.
Sick.
This
A foot.
this dead guy is going to be a suddenly much bigger dead guy pretty soon. It seems like.
Let's get out of the way of the body, for sure.
I'll roll away.
You make your way away from the large body of Clarg, and but a few seconds later, his entire body just shudders for a moment and then expands, almost completely filling the narrow passageway that you had done most of your battle in. Not quite sealing you, but very close inside this large chamber. As you look around the chamber that you are in now, you can see a small campfire that is now burned down to mostly embers. A few carts, large boxes spread out across. What would you like to do?
Cat.
Yeah. I think what Glass is trying to say is that this probably means that Cat is back to normal size too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any treats? A little.
Chop off Clarg arm.
At this moment,
I
you
mean-
hear from somewhere behind one of the boxes a
No. Damn it.
Think fast. What do cats like?
Yeah, can I?
Okay, wait a minute.
Do we have anybody here who might be an expert on what cats like? Anyone at all? Anyone who has any experience whatsoever?
Glass is like, it's got like the math, going in front of it. Food,
Yarn.
be left alone, fire, warm, not fire, but warm. God, does anyone have a down blanket?
I've got some rope. Play kitty cat games.
We need to invent the laser first.
I don't know if this is too. Can I have some jerky in my
I would
rucksack?
assume that among your rations, which you do have, there's probably some jerky, there's some dried meat, there's some hardtack, nuts, those sort of journey-capable foods.
They
Sure.
don't like strong smells, like perfume.
The
Which I have.
sound seems like it's coming from behind the largest of some of the boxes.
Because the largest and probably thus least likely to get swallowed in one bite.
I mean, who's the best with animals? It's probably not Ambrose.
It's
Ah.
I have a +1.
What?
It will not be you.
Chester, now is not the time to jump on my desk.
He's trying to tell
We're
you
talking
he
about
knows.
cats. We weren't talking about you specifically. Hi.
He heard
Hi,
my
honey.
really, really good cat sounds.
Oh,
As
Ander,
you-
can I have that crossbow?
Yes. Here you are. I hand over the crossbow to Glass.
It's a light crossbow, right?
All right, I'm going to add that to my equipment.
As you all debate for a moment and discuss what you would like to do, you notice that the sound that it had made when Clarg resumed to his original size never seems to come.
Oh.
Aside from occasional yowls and... If someone wants to make an animal handling check to figure out what these sounds might sound like.
Yeah. Can I like get a little bit of jerky or something in my hand and like approach in a very like hunched down and friendly seeming manner?
Sure.
Okay. Oh. It's a 10.
With the food, I will give you advantage because that's a pretty standard thing. As if that's what I did with the frogs as well.
1.
But there you go.
Oh,
14.
halfling.
Halfling lucky.
Yeah.
The bane of my existence. As you crouch down near this sort of darkened gap, the boxes, just on the other side of the fire, next to this small wooden chest, you sort of hold out the jerky and make yourself as unfrightening as possible, and it's quiet for a moment. And then from deep in this crevasse made by these two rows of crates, you see that sort of backlit set of cat eyes glaring at you, but they don't seem saber-toothed tiger size. They do still seem about the size of a house cat.
All right, I'll take it.
The cat sort of begins to approach very slowly and cautiously. As it sort of steps into the light, you can see it does still have these large saber-tooth-like fangs that are now no bigger around than a pencil and no longer than your little finger. Very slowly creeps up to you, sniffs at your hand a little bit, snatches the jerky and turns around and runs back between the boxes.
Right, I get it. Some people are shy.
Is that how big it was before?
It definitely was bigger when we first saw it.
I need everybody to make a general intelligence check for me, please.
Oh.
22.
2.
Yeah, that's a 5.
Ambrose would be the one to figure this out, as it
16.
deals with some of the effects that he is most aware of in magic. You remember watching as Clarg opened the box and it tumbled out of his hands, zapping him and then his club down to size, and then a final bolt of that pink energy lashed out at the tiger. In the middle of that bolt, the box hit the ground and shattered. You wager that perhaps whatever sort of magic was being cast upon the creature did not fully complete whatever sort of incantation or ritual or spell might have been stored within the box.
This poor cat's cursed.
Oh no! A cursed kitty!
Cursed to be small.
Oh, baby.
We should go on a long journey to restore this cat to their original size.
Yes.
That's what the campaign is now.
Okay. Sorry, one last logistic. Oleander, is this a hand crossbow? What am I looking at here? I have crossbow blindness, you know. People are like, oh, it's the one on the left, it's the red one, and I'm like, just pointing.
I am giving you a standard light crossbow. It weighs 5 pounds. If you sold it in the store, MSRP is going to be 25 gold. It is a two-handed weapon, and its range is between 80 and 320 feet. Damage is 1d8 plus 2. Those are numbers that mean nothing in terms of me talking to you in this cave. But
as Oleander begins
on some
to
other
rattle
plane,
off,
I assume you know what I'm talking about. And I'm also giving you my crossbow bolts as well, because otherwise it's just a very oddly shaped club without them. But yeah, make sure you load them in with the pointy bit facing away from you. After that, it's just crank it tight, point and shoot.
Shoot it right at the ground in front of me.
Okay, hold on. Let's get a little practice in here, okay?
Do you really? Go ahead and make an attack roll for me, if you will.
Oh boy.
Ambrose is gonna back up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a 2 plus 5, so a 7.
The bolt,
really
instead of
shot my
sticking
butt.
in the ground, I was seeing if you rolled a natural 1 because you would have shot yourself in the foot. Yeah. The bolt sticks in the ground and shatters, sending small bits of metal and wood and fletching flying, and you pull back your face, and a few of them sort of scratch at your.
Okay, let's trigger discipline. Don't put your finger on that little trigger thing unless you're ready to shoot. Really can't emphasize that enough.
It was
Oh my god.
There's a button on it that makes it shoot.
Don't press it until you know you want to shoot. Now let's practice a little bit here. Are there any bottles or anything around?
There's a lot of crates. There's plenty of sort of sacks of supplies over by the sort of bearskin rug that looks like it might have been that saber-toothed tiger's bed. There's a few
Shoot
sort of
away
empty
from
wine
the
bottles
hatch.
there.
Yeah.
Cool. Can I grab a couple wine bottles and set them up on a crate at a reasonable distance away from glass?
Sure.
Cool. I do so. They're going to be on top of the crate next to the bear rug, and I run back and I stand behind glass, and I'm like, okay.
These crates are on the opposite side as the cat that we saw.
The
Or
cat
is that
would be
what-
back behind them. So what I'm assuming, looking at the map, you are now doing is sort of bringing yourself back to maybe this angle and firing towards there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would ask Bree that you get out of the way.
I'm so afraid of accidentally hitting this cat.
Do you
Should
want
we
to?
wait?
We can wait.
Yeah,
Let's
I'll
get out of the
practice
cave.
later. I'll
All
practice
right.
later.
I'll practice with you later. Don't worry. It's a snap. Just keep it unloaded until we practice later, because I don't want this thing accidentally going off and taking a chunk out of you.
Right, I'll put it in safety mode. I turn the bolt backwards.
Oh no! Oh my god!
That's
Okay.
terrifying to think about.
Yeah.
I feel
Okay.
like it would just get caught on whatever sort of sight there is, and the thing would just slide underneath it and just fire it directly into your face. Anyways, that's terrifying. You're able to put it away. It fits neatly on some of the hooks on your pack, and as you do so, you watch as this small miniature saber-toothed tiger seems to poke its head out from between the boxes again, just sort of looking at the group, regarding you with a sort of fear and disdain, but also you detect a bit of hunger, although it doesn't seem to be large enough to really do anything about that at the moment.
Oh god.
I'm gonna keep feeding it jerky
Yes.
and cooing at it.
As a bit of a skill challenge here, if you or anyone else wants to attempt to not so much domesticate, but at least try to bond this creature to you, you may make animal handling checks. The highest...
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. I just was going to say either, I don't know if it would be me checking as well, or if this would be helping, but what I want to I have a costume set in my pack, and I want to rifle through that and just tear a tassel or something off of the costume and just try to make a little cat toy.
Okay, yeah,
It's I'm into it, and then
you've got bits of an old wig that you're able to sort of tie up and turn into a little, almost like a horsehair brush. So whoever would like to, go ahead and make animal handling checks, and
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
You sort of sit down in a circle and keep this small cat between you, all of you beckoning to it with various treats and toys.
Oh no, that's a 5.
21.
Oh my god.
17.
17.
It's mine!
Momentarily distracted by this small, fluffy wig thing, the creature comes up and bats at it a few times, and then watches it seems to sense something, and sort of pads up and over your leg and behind you, Bree, and begins sort of scratching at your pack, smelling the remnants of that jerky that you had pulled out before.
I'll give you anything you want.
Hook the tiny little claws in the side of the pack and climbs up on top of the pack, and then with front 2 paws on its shoulders, sort of you're the tiniest little meow. You can see that it is wearing that sort of large leather collar that it was wearing before, with a previously giant-sized handle on the back, almost like a canine unit, like agitation sort of training thing. Emblazoned on the collar are some runes in a language. Does anyone speak Giant?
I don't think I do.
Nope.
Do I have any spells that could let me? No, I don't. Crud.
It must be Elvish.
Mysterious markings line the collar, but aside from that, this creature seems like it regards you as a friend now.
Awesome. First party pet.
Yeah,
Glass,
yeah,
can you
yeah.
ask it what its name is?
Okay, this is kind of like a Pluto Goofy situation, and I don't really know what to do about it, so...
Don't think about it too hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
From the distance, in the direction
I shouldn't
of...
have assumed. I shouldn't have assumed.
From the distance, in the direction of Clarg's now back to giant size, sort of badly crumpled body that's been mashed into this sort of cave entrance, you hear, "Subjects! Yes, my subjects, you're bow to Yimik now!" As you watch as Yimik pops his little way out of one of the gaps around the side of Clarg in the cave's wall, and sort of begins to scramble his way over to you.
Yannick! Hey, great hustle back there. You did good. Hi, Chester.
You...
Clarg is dead, you bow to Yimik now.
No,
Whoa.
you slow down, little man.
Yeah.
You really took up the whole dictator thing really fast.
We of course support your
Yimik's
virgin
day of
queen,
victory.
but
Okay.
consider us outside consultant. I will give you a hearty handshake and a congratulations on your new realm ownership.
Congratulations on the peaceful transfer of power.
Yes.
You have a cave now. Good job.
Great work.
He seems a bit confused, and after a moment does extend his hand and says, "You could have stayed and allowed me to rule you, but
We need to find
you
our
have
friend.
an ally."
Yes. Thank you. And you have an ally in us.
Thank you.
We were wondering, I was wondering, do any of us know where Cragmaw Castle is?
Thank you. Anybody know some stuff about history?
Do I? Let me check. Oh, I have a +4 to history. Can I check actually?
I know a
Yeah,
lot
if you'd
about
like to.
history, but go
Very
wild.
Hey, nat 20, baby!
Oh, yeah.
I know
Whoa.
exactly where Cragmaw Castle is. So great.
Oleander Ways.
You know quite a bit
I had
about
a
this
portrait painted
area.
of me there when I was turned 15. It was great.
You know
I
quite
was
a bit.
sort of brooding wistfully across the ruins.
Oh, Oleander, the voice in your head's trying to tell us something.
You know
I'm sorry?
quite a bit about this area. You are well versed in the geography and layout of this sort of section of the Wild North, but Cragmaw Castle is not a place you've heard of, even with a natural 20. It does not seem to have been listed in any of the record books or maps that you had looked at in your spare time in your youth back in Baldur's Gate.
Forget everything I just said.
Even when she thinks about it, like in a mirror, like backwards.
I was doing a little thing that pro D&D players like to call bullshitting.
Yeah, lying.
And the
Lies.
is just not quite there.
Yimik, there is a way you could help us immediately. Could you let us know how to get to Cragmaw Castle? We're looking for our friend.
Oh, he looks to you, and then back over to Clarg, and then back to you.
The only one who made trips to the castle was Clark.
Oh.
God damn it.
Where's our greatsword friend, Sildar?
He's sort of leaning on his greatsword over in the corner, and he's okay, but he's just sort of like watching all of this happen. He's been just silently observing the practice with the crossbows, and you all sort of sitting down in a circle around the cat and just sort of just blithely observing this circus that's unfolding before him.
Show ain't free, buddy.
I must ask, the more time we spend here, the more likely we are to run into the rest of, your friend here's compatriots.
There's more?
Well, I was drifting in and out of consciousness, but if I recall, you had distracted a large group of them and sort of sent them
Right,
off.
the other kobolds! Yeah, but it's fine because Yimik... Oh, but they really don't know about that yet, do they?
They'll find out soon enough.
Oh.
Yimik, it'll be fine, right?
I mean, it should be. Clark is kind of blocking the cave. I was able to get through, but one at a time.
One at a time sounds like good odds.
I will go find them, talk to them. Yes.
Yeah!
Okay.
Exert
he
the rule.
just
They
sort
are
of-
the ones you should be asking them to bow to you. They
You
will
make just-
bow all over the place, no doubt. Kowtow even.
Scuttles away, sort of
Maybe even grovel if we're lucky.
and you can
Are
hear
we
him sort
okay?
of under his breath as he scuttles away, like
Yes, they're about to Yimik. Yimik will rule.
sort of fades into the distance.
Oh my god. I love Yimik so much. I can't not root for him. He's such a shitty little man.
As you look around, Sildar once again speaks up and just says, "Now, I'm all for resting and taking a moment here, but I can't help but feel like it's not exactly the safest place for us to remain.
Probably not.
Take a look at some of these goods here, see what we can do about them, and make our way out."
Yeah, because this guy's gonna start to stink before long. And I don't think there's much good ventilation in here.
Yeah,
So-
let's loot these crates, baby.
Yeah!
I love stuff.
Unwrap video, let's do it.
So you have a set of smaller crates off to one side that look. Actually, someone go ahead and make a investigation check for me, please.
I can do that. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Oh my god, I'm rolling nothing but bad tonight. That's gonna be a 7.
7. Okay. You
Oh boy.
make your way over to the smaller of the crates, and one of them has a bit of a loose top. And looking inside, it looks like mostly food stores, some of which are beginning to turn. In addition to that, looks like supplies for either camping or just general goods you might find at a general goods store. And a variety of sort of rope and bits of cookware, etc. The larger crates off to your left-hand side, all of which are emblazoned with this logo that looks like a lion's head in blue ink. And you do recognize this as a trade company that you've not dealt with them, nor has your family in many of their business dealings, but you do vaguely just recall seeing it pop up from one time or another during your time in Baldur's Gate.
Okay. I think these look like they're just sort of common goods. If there's going to be anything of real value, like we can refill our supply of equipment, but if there's going to be anything of real value, it's probably going to be in those bigger crates over there with the lions on them.
There is also, sort of next to the bearskin rug, a single chest. It seems like it is made of wood and wrapped with bands of steel.
Ooh.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm gonna go open that chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make your way over to it, and there is a latch on it, but no lock. You swing the small latch open and tip it back. You see a variety of items there. First and foremost, piled to one side of the box is several large bags that look as if they are filled with coins.
All right.
Inside them, just to sort of expedite the process here so we don't have to sit there and count them, you find about 600 copper pieces, 110 silver pieces,
Okay.
and then in one of the bags, a tiny statuette that looks like it's made out of gold with these little orbs for eyes. And that is worth about 40 gold.
All right.
Okay.
In addition to that, next to the money are two small vials filled with a red liquid that you recognize as potions of healing.
All right.
Oh.
Yoink.
And
Lovely.
then
Hey,
wrapped,
look at that.
And then wrapped in this what looks almost like a cheesecloth that's been very badly stained, burned, and has this deeply acrid and almost brimstone-like smell to it. It smells sulfuric, smells just strongly chemical. There is what appears to be a leather-bound volume, a book, that is ring-bound, and each of the metal fittings on the rings that bind it look like they're made out of different kinds of metal. But upon a closer look, it looks as if some of the bits of metal are either two different kinds of metal frozen together, or melted together, or the first thing that pops into your mind is that it looks like it's sort of been frozen in mid-transition.
It's a very strange looking book.
Without even looking at it, I'm going to hand the book to Ambrose.
Hey! Holds it above his head like a big pizza.
Does this look like anything to you?
Looks like something. Would I know what it is?
As you open the book and take a look at a few of the pages inside, you definitely recognize this as a notebook of sorts, but all of the writing in it is shorthand for some sort of dictation with which to write down formula, and some of it appears to be the same sort of dictation that you might use to cast or learn a magic spell, but almost all of it appears to be gibberish. It's all sort of randomly ordered, and none of it makes any sense to you. You have a keen eye for being able to read various forms of spell dictation and the mathematical formula that surround that, but this... It's like opening a book and seeing a bunch of, like, 2 + 4 = 9 million.
Oh.
And just things that don't make sense, where, like, you would see a math equation that just ends in the word apple. It's strange.
Yeah, I'm not sure what this is, but it seems important, so...
Very mysterious book.
Might hold on to this.
Yeah. One mysterious book. Cool.
Yes.
Something about apples.
Feel the power surging within us.
Ooh.
Nice.
Can I go over to those crates and take my
Let's
rapier?
crack into these crates over here too.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. So the smaller ones you found were just full of, like, all the trade goods. The large ones, as you pry them open, are filled with a large variety of what looks to be armor, short swords, crossbows. But in each crate is multiple versions of each of these items. This looks like supplies for either a war effort of some kind, or possibly some sort of... you've been to stores where you've seen, like, lines and lines of different weapons and stuff, and this looks like that all sort of compressed into a crate.
Interesting.
Sildar, you know anything about the symbol on these crates?
If my memory serves, I think that's for the Lion Shield Costa. They're a trade company, mercantile company that works out of Tribal, but I think they have an office or at least an accord in Phandalin.
What was it? Lion's Shield what?
Lion Shield Coster.
Okay.
And
This stuff is
Oleander, you
going
would
to
have
be-
known that as well.
Yeah. This stuff is probably going to be way too much to carry back on our own. If we want to get in good with them, we could probably let them know this stuff is here. Maybe, as a sign of goodwill, or maybe in exchange for goods and services.
Wait, who are we trying to have goodwill with?
The lion's share.
Oh, because these got yoinked from them.
Yeah, we're essentially recovering shrinkage, stolen merchandise.
You know these people?
I know of them. My family never dealt directly with them, but we're vaguely familiar with them. They had you'd see their merchandise occasionally come through Baldur's Gate City.
I'd like to keep that in our back pocket. I don't know if I want to tell some war criminals where their munitions are.
Yeah.
That may
But
be
maybe they're nice.
Maybe they're nice war criminals.
Maybe they're nice war criminals. Yeah, exactly.
We could let Hemic keep these.
That is
to
true.
arm his little friends,
He will
as I will
need.
call them.
He will
Much
need.
as we all love Yemic. And also, I mean, like, we will make a calculated
All right.
decision which will do less harm
Yes.
when we know
Decide
more.
when you get there.
Yes.
First off, I'm gonna take a sword,
All right.
Go
Okay.
for it.
add that to my shit.
Yeah, there are long swords, short swords, variety of martial and simple weapons there available.
I think I'll take another short sword.
Okay.
I'll put it on the opposite hip from the short sword I currently have.
Okay.
Dual wield, sick. Everything's pretty much like basic weaponry, right? Because like I'm gonna be mostly using magic stuff, and I already have a spear and 2 daggers, so I don't know if I really need anything else.
None of this seems like it's extraordinarily specially well crafted or has any sort of magical effect to it. No. You wouldn't know for sure, because even the most simple weapons can be enchanted unless you were to cast something like Detect Magic, but just from looking at it and how kind of uniform everything is...
I would bet that if there was any magic stuff in here, it would probably be either separate or marked in some way. And it looks
That's
like
a
this
fair
is pretty
guess.
much rank and file standard merch.
as you
Not that
gather a
big
few
brain.
things from the boxes. Is there anything else that you would like to do before you leave this area?
I'm
Sort
gonna
of
take a
look
hand
over-
crossbow from just to. I'm like, yeah, I'll just hold on to it. I don't know which one is better.
Okay.
That's glass and the player of glass.
Awesome.
As you
just
sort of look
so
over to
everybody
the...
knows-
Go ahead,
sorry.
sorry. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say if we're dividing up the booty, 150 copper for each of us and 27 silver for each of us.
Sick.
All right.
Does would Glass like to hold on to the potions of healing?
I'll take one, and
Okay.
someone else can take the other.
I can hold on to the other.
Sounds good.
As you finish divvying up the coinage and the potions, you sort of look over, and to the south of you, where the cavern sort of extends beyond and then narrows to sort of a narrow passageway, you can see Sildar has already sort of hobbled his way over on his makeshift sword crutch and is standing at an area where the cave seems to split between a set of naturally occurring like stone stairs along a slope that go upwards and a long tunnel that seems to remain at the same level.
Quick question: who's holding on to that gold statuette?
I can keep it in my bag.
So,
Sure.
just like to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and these two tunnels are different from the ones we came in through.
Correct. You came in through the one, if you're looking at the map, that would be to the northeast.
Okay.
And both of these lead to the south, and you have not yet seen or been into either of them.
Right. So, how much do y'all want to bet these stairs lead out of here?
I mean, only one way to find out, really.
Yeah.
Sildar, do you need help heading up the stairs? I know you got kind of a leg problem going on there.
I appreciate the
Yeah. Come on, I got you. Let's.
It's definitely a real problem.
Yeah, I can get you with the shoulder. We can get up this thing together.
You can immediately tell that whatever sort of chivalry he's been taught in life has gone out the window. He's a deep red color as he sort of... what's the word I'm looking for? Slowly and with, not regret, but... begrudgingly sort of puts an arm around you and allows you to... you are probably a good 6 inches taller than him, regardless.
Yeah.
I'm gonna whisper to Bree, like, just loudly, "He looks so frail."
God! You want to cast Vicious Mockery, or what?
Wow, Jesus! He's a badass. Come on.
I'm whispering.
As you make your way up these stairs, it levels out onto a small platform that ends in a cliff that drops off. And as you look out across this, you can now see the platform from which the kobolds were previously slinging stones at you. You see some large areas of disturbed earth on either side with large sticks that were used to sort of pry those set boulders up to cause this cave-in. But the door and the way out, if you were to climb down this cliff face, is still blocked.
Hey, I remember this place.
All right. Well, that was, worth checking out.
We can probably get out pretty easily from here.
You get to the top and see that it sort of ends in a dead end. Sildar just lets out this big, like, grumpy old man sigh and just sort of turns around and begins to, insisting he do it himself, slowly make his way back down the stairs.
We all go right behind him, though, like, not touching him, letting him have his pride, but like, whoa, ooh, one more step, woo.
You can do it! Yay!
Oh,
God, like you're yelling at Grandpa at the home.
Oh, God.
that is exactly what was in my mind.
Should
Okay.
we use a healing potion on this poor dude?
He's got plenty of hit points. He just has an extensive
Mortal
injury.
Okay.
It's one of those sort of wounds that, like, I don't think healing will, like, reset a bone.
Yeah.
Let me make sure
That's something
here.
we need, like,
Here.
a splint and
With you. There we go.
a couple weeks off of his feet for.
If I had any inspiration left, I'd give you some, man. But
Are we
I don't have any
heading out of this or heading down towards this other tunnel then?
Yeah.
As you do, you reach an area that looks like a large set of wood planks that from around the sides of it you can see where the planks don't quite meet up with the stone, shafts of not quite daylight, but perhaps twilight seeping in.
Oh, is the cat coming with us?
The cat has been perched atop your pack the whole time.
All right.
So that you know, in your extras tab, you may add, just go ahead and add a house cat. I'll make a custom one with, or I guess you can rename it yourself, but it does have the stats of a house cat, which I think consists of a maximum of 2 HP, so do be careful.
oh god,
Oh.
All right. This is my pet. Liability.
Future guilt.
Yeah.
As you approach
it's not a
this,
cat of doom.
as you approach this sort of wood plank, you are able to sort of push on it, and as you do, you see that it comes free, and sliding it out of the way, you are able to now see that it leads back out through the bushes, sort of disguised on one side by these ivies that climb up all of it, and back out to the sort of roadway where you had first encountered the kobolds. Making your way back down the hill and finding the spot where you had tied up your horses and the cart.
Yeah.
It hasn't even been a day. So.
It has not. You did take a long rest, so it has.
No,
been,
we took a short rest, right? Didn't we?
We did
No,
one.
Oh, we took a long rest. I'm sorry, I forgot.
So
Yep.
it's been the probably hour or two, or probably the first hour that you spent there, the 8 hours of rest, and then maybe another 2 hours. So
Right.
you're still only about 12 hours beyond noon. So when you exit, what you had thought previously was twilight coming in, that cave was so dark that just the moonlight outside was bright
Oh,
enough
wow.
to give you the indication of like everything around you. You can hear crickets in the bushes. You can see the stars overhead are clear. The moon is out and bright, giving you plenty of light by which to navigate the narrow roadway back down towards the road if you would like to.
Sure.
Let's take a nap. Do you guys want to sleep here, or where do you want to go?
We still have the horses and the cart and everything.
Yeah, we can give Sildar a ride if we want to head somewhere populated.
Speaking
of
of
Or-
which,
yeah.
I was going to say, I don't know if you plan to go back to Neverwinter from here, or if you are going to continue on to Phandalin and return these goods as was the original contract. But I'm sure that you would be compensated for returning the goods, and I myself, as part of the Lord's Alliance, would be happy to compensate you to the tune of 50 gold or so just to escort me back to Phandalin, and also as a bit of a thank you from myself for rescuing me.
Sounds good to y'all?
Yes.
I mean, if we have to take this stuff anyways, it's better than just leaving
We
it.
were gonna do it for 50 gold or more. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, we can have a nice road trip. We can make a little coin, and a new urban area means plenty of new business opportunities for an enterprising young band of troubleshooters such as ourselves.
Right, and 50 gold is fine.
It's
Exactly.
nothing to sneeze at. We also got some stuff from inside the cave.
Mhm.
I can't honestly say that that's the value I would place on my own life. If I had more, I could give it.
It's
That's all I
fine.
have.
But you only have 50 gold. We get it.
I
It's
hiss.
understandable. It's cool.
I hiss to the rest of the
We don't-
group. Are y'all
Yeah.
really trying to haggle with a dude with a broken leg?
Yes.
He deserves to be treated like everyone else.
It's just a bone. He'll be fine.
I thought
You
I
have-
was a craven capitalist. Jesus.
You have so many bones in your body. This dude's a freaking cop.
We can buy more baguettes with this money. Think of all the bakers.
Think of
Just trying to do the
army.
right thing here.
Think of the army of flying kobolds we could arm with those bags.
My family would just love you guys.
Is this the
Everybody get on
campaign
the
now
cart.
where you're just gonna establish a mercenary group out of Yemek and these kobolds?
So,
All right, gang.
all right.
Uh,
Go while the moon is out and the night is beautiful.
I
We're not going to sleep?
I
Oh,
vote
we can
for
sleep.
training.
No, let's go to sleep, and then let's go with the rising sun and the. We really only just woke up 2 hours ago, though. I think our circadian rhythm is all out of whack, right?
Should we stay here to camp? I thought we were trying to avoid. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I guess we should.
But the kobolds are our allies now.
Well, we left the
At
cave
least-
for a reason, so
At least one kobold is our ally.
yeah.
Let's get a little bit further and
Yeah.
then sleep.
Okay,
Yeah.
This
let's
is
do
10
that.
minutes down the road.
Sounds good.
Phandalin's not too terribly far from here, so
Okay, we'll go to
We could just
Phandalin.
make it to
No, no.
Phandalin and then take a nap there.
we
just
can make
saying.
it. We
Instead
can
of-
make it a good ways, and then
Yeah.
rest whenever you like. I'm
Okay.
at your mercy. He
What
was
he
just
said.
more so
That's
trying to
where
say that
Rollins,
it's
right?
not terribly far. You guys can get a little bit of the ways and take a rest when you like to.
Cool.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
You load up in the cart. Who is driving, by the way, just so I know?
I can drive.
Ooh, okay.
You driven
As-
yet? I don't think so. Go wild.
You hop in the driver's seat and hitch up your horses and load the back with your supplies and make Sildar as comfortable as you can, keeping his leg comfortably elevated and straight as possible. You begin your trek back down the narrow road, carefully remembering to avoid the pit that Yemek had, that Little Toe had pointed out to you on the way up. Which is difficult in the dark, but make your way back to the area of the stream crossing where you had originally found Kendron's finger lying in the dirt. Hanging a left and making your way down the road in the direction of Phandalin, you continue. How far would you like to go?
How far away is Phandalin from here?
I'd say no more than another 4 hours drive.
Did
Alright.
we want to just head straight into Phandalin, or do we want to like stop after maybe like 2 hours, like halfway there?
We may as well go. You could switch off horse shifts.
I'll hang out in the back.
Sure.
You take a nap, Glass.
No one is eager
You
for a
sit-
road trip right now. I love
You
that.
sit
This
right
is
up
like
here
the
with me,
drive
Ambrose.
home
We're gonna
from a
have
vacation.
a fun road trip. Yeah,
We got it.
we got this. You kids get comfy back there.
All right.
Glass does the like that girl. I take a nap. I take a nap right here. Lays down on the floor in the back.
I'll say everyone sort of trading off shifts if you would like to is able to get a short rest in during the time
Sure.
on the way back. And as you ride for a little ways, are you continuing all the way? Was that the
Yeah.
consensus? Along the road, as you drive, Sildar, you sort of expect him to sleep, but instead he strikes up conversation. Probably mostly with you, Oleander, as you're one of the few staying awake, keeping your eyes on the road, and doing the tough job of keeping the horses in line as you sort of continue and roll your cart down the dirt trail.
Mm-hmm.
So you seem like you know of a few of the companies that work from around here. Are you familiar with this area of the north and the Tribal Trail?
I'm from the south mostly. I grew up in Baldur's Gate, but my family has done business up in this neck of the woods, so I'm generally familiar with the area. You know, went up here a couple times when I was younger, but not. I wouldn't say that I'm like, I never lived here or anything.
That's fair. Well,
How about you? How long you been up here?
Oh, I've worked in Neverwinter almost my entire life. I had a contact that was sent out to Phandalin that went silent, and when Gundren approached asking for some protection from the Alliance, and I already knew I was about to head out there anyways, I thought, why not? Combine the two, see what's going on. I guess I was just curious if you knew anything about the area of Phandalin and Phandelver's Pact. And at hearing this, all of you in your various sort of states of consciousness, whether they be fully awake or sort of just listening with your eyes closed, he sort of relays a story to you about general history of the area and Phandelver's Pact and the mine that was discovered on Gundren's map and why it is so entrenched in history and important to this region.
Mm-hmm.
It may be no more than legend, but as history would have it, about 500 years back or so, clans of dwarves and gnomes in this region discovered a rich mine in a wondrous cavern known as Wave Echo Cave. Rather than squabbling over the resources there, cooler heads prevailed and they came to an accord known as Phandelver's Pact, which gathers its name from the local town. Mine was rich in minerals, but more so it contained an ancient magical power. Now this is what everyone seems to have their eyes on. Its power springs forth from this Wave Echo Cave itself. So with the assistance back then of these human spellcasters allied with the dwarves and gnomes, and the members of this Phandelver's Pact were able to channel this energy into a forge, which became known as the Forge of Spells. This forge was capable of crafting magic items, weapons, arcane focuses, defenses, never before seen ways to manipulate magic, even new spells and enchantments. This forge was obviously extraordinarily prosperous, and the nearby human town of Phandalin became a hub of commerce, which is where companies like the Lion Shield Coster sprang into place. However, as orc raiding parties swept through the north around 950 DR, and then for everybody's reference, it's about 1491, so it has been almost 500 years. They were aided by mercenary spellweavers that the orcs had hired and wizards, and they attempted to seize the riches and magic treasures of this cave. So the dwarves and gnomes and humans of the Phandelver's Pact banded together and did what they could to defend the Forge of Spells. But the battle to it did much damage to the cavern and the lands that surrounded it, and caused cave-ins and tremors that few were lucky to survive. Since then, the true location of this cave has been lost to time, but obviously that's a bit different now that Gundren and his brothers seem to have found either an entrance or some sort of information about its location. It's that information that when the Lord's Alliance gathered that sort of intel, I became made aware and interested.
So we're not just looking for a thing, it's a place. That's wild.
Glass is lying on the cart bed, for all of this, facing away, but through that whole thing, just like eyes wide, just kind of like enraptured, listening to this like fantastical story. Says nothing.
Needless to say, I appreciate you getting me there because, well, like I said before, I had a member of the Lord's Alliance that was sent out there at the time that we learned this information in order to do what they could to establish a constabulary in the Wild Frontier town and get a degree of law and order established there, but there's been no answer.
If you don't mind me saying, it's, it seems like you folks are spread pretty thin with the Lord's Alliance.
You're not wrong. We have resources that continue to dwindle every day. We have the brand new, or at least newly redeveloped city of Neverwinter that is only a decade or two strong in its rehabilitation, and using all the resources from Waterdeep and Baldur's Gate, we're doing our best to rebuild it and all the lands to the north, but it's difficult.
Well, I hope we can find your friend.
If you can, while you're in Phandalin, keep an eye out for a rather
what's
short,
your friend look like?
He's short, balding, sort of a scruffy chin beard, human, pale skin, a hell of a spellcaster.
Okay. What's their name?
Iano Albrecht.
Iano Albrecht. Okay.
Iarno.
Well, if we meet an Iano Albrecht, I'll let them know that you were looking for them.
That is Iarno Albrek.
Okay.
It's not too much further down the road, as you sort of ride in silence for a little while, that you crest this small hill, and as you come to a signpost on the right-hand side of the road that marks a junction, the road here gives you two options. You can either continue on straight ahead to the east towards Tribor, or you may venture to the right-hand side and south towards the town of Phandalin.
Well, we're headed to Phandalin. We should take the right-hand fork towards Phandalin.
Who knows so much?
Are we gonna sleep in Phandalin? What time is it?
By now it would probably be like 3 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Okay. We can stop here if you want and bed down for a little bit, if you like.
Oleander is like the dad driving in the road trip.
Come on!
We're not
It's
gonna
just
stop.
further. We can keep going. Come on.
We're almost there, and we're not there yet, so we're gonna keep going.
If we've screwed up our sleep schedule already, we might as well really screw it up. Am I right?
Think I'm paying for another day's in? No way. Okay, so
I'm fine with whatever the group wants to do.
Let's sleep, please.
All right. Let's take a pit stop here and catch some Z's before we continue onward to Phandalin.
you take your goods out of the cart, pull it off to the side of the road, set up a small campsite, help Sildar out of the cart and make him comfortable. Is there anything that anyone would like to do or take care of before they bed down for the evening? Or, I guess, for the early morning hours.
Has anyone fed the cat yet?
He ate a fuck ton of jerky already, man.
Yeah, I did.
I don't. Assume when I mention the cat, I am talking about our cat, and when I mention our delightful tabaxi friend, I'm talking about you, Glass.
Okay.
Unless you prefer to be the cat.
Feed yourself.
I can also call you the cat.
Oh,
if you'd like.
yeah, I know. That was the royal we. We fed myself some jerky. Well, both can be true. I think we can both answer the question.
Bree is just going, assuming we have a little campfire set up, Bree is going to bundle herself up by the campfire and unbraid her hair and pull out a little shitty wooden comb and start combing it.
Can I ask the group something? This
Yeah.
is kind of a weird question, and don't. You know, it's just kind of idly wondering. Have I been like talking in my sleep or anything like that? Have you noticed that? Fidgeting around.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say you're a peaceful sleeper.
Okay. That's interesting. All right. I've just, I've had issues with that kind of thing before. Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to make sure of something. That's all. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
What kind of issues are these nightmares we're talking about?
Yeah. Weird dreams and stuff. It's fine. Honestly, don't worry about it. If you hear me making any noise, unless it becomes like a real problem, just let it go. It's nothing to get worked up over. I promise I'm completely normal and not suspicious at all.
All right.
Wondering
I
if
have
I
no
should
more
make you make a
questions.
deception check for that.
Okay.
I mean, do you believe that, or is that a false reassurance?
I do not think that I am normal, and
Okay.
I think that I am a little worried, but I'm trying to reassure the group.
Yeah, just make a deception check, and you will only arouse any sort of suspicion in that regard if you do not beat the general passive perceptions of the party members. Or passive insights, rather.
Okay. I got a 14.
Anybody have a passive insight higher than a 14?
Narp.
Close.
Mine is a 14.
Okay.
Oh, great.
You've traveled and been around Oleander for some time, and she's certainly strange, but you're unsure of the degree to which she's saying these things. Is it simply just a bit of self-reassurance, or is there something further below the surface? You're not sure. You're not suspicious per se, but you do roll your eyes a little bit and say, like, yeah, normal, okay.
A little bit of an eyebrow raise. Like, yeah, okay. Fluffing the pillow.
That as we bed down to rest. Go ahead.
As I'm bedding down, I'm just gonna kind of like just give myself a little bit of space away from the group and roll up in my bedroll, a blanket over me, and just turn away and just let out like a huge anxious sigh, and then like a little bit of quiet crying, and then go to sleep.
Oh,
So that's all.
baby boy, baby.
Quiet enough that I do not want anyone to hear.
Alright.
It's scary out here. It's not like home. You've been through a hell of a lot. There's nothing else to do before you sleep for the evening. And take our break for tonight right there. Come back here in about 15 minutes, wherein the group of you will be reaching level 2, and we will roll for hit points, and we can take a little bit of this break to make sure that you have your characters and everything set up if you would like to. It is 8:19 currently. We're going to take a 15-minute break, so calling that at 8:20. We'll be back on the air at 8:35 p.m. Pacific time. Is there anything else anybody wants to talk about or say before we go to break? Cool.
Don't touch that dial.
Yeah.
See you in just a moment. Make sure I have my timer set for the video this time correctly, instead of it going off in the middle of us talking a minute later every time. And a break.
We believe in the leadership of trans and gender nonconforming people.
We believe in a future. We believe at the end of the day that we all can get free.
Transgender Law Center is a resource, but it's also a source of hope.
Well, I think we've come a long way, for sure. We started off as the organizations that help community members with their identity documents, name change, and their birth certificates petition. I think that we would not have grown in such an exponential way had it not been for NCLR's mentoring.
I actually don't think about TLC as a project of NCLR. I really think about them as a colleague organization, partnering with us shoulder to shoulder, doing very, very difficult work, who is there specifically to effectively and strategically be a champion for the transgender community.
At the Transgender Law Center, we have moved forward work that makes sure that we have laws and policies in place that protect our rights as transgender people.
Well, yesterday was a big step for equality. This is actually a pretty simple bill that makes...
Thank you to my lawyers and everyone who's been representing me. It's nice knowing that this will definitely be a beacon for other trans kids and other people in the community to look to as a source for hope.
You know, our work does not live here at the headquarters of Oakland, California, but our work exists out in the fields. It exists in community centers. It exists at the border. It exists in detention centers. It is about empowering communities and supporting communities and meeting them where they're at.
The impact that Positively Trans has had on my life is that it has given me the opportunity to be visible, to be a voice within the transgender community, especially when it comes to trans people living with HIV, particularly the Black trans community. We are the authors of our stories. You can't tell our stories for us.
So we're about to cross. The immigrants from all Latin America are about to cross the border and present themselves to us.
Trans immigrants should not be detained, period. And so we launched TIDE, Transgender Immigrant Defense Effort.
We've been doing work in the South in partnership with Southerners on the Ground for about almost 2 years at this point. And it's been super critical as well because we have seen that a lot of the anti-trans legislative attacks have occurred in the South.
We've seen amazing emergence of leadership within our Truth program, which is our trans youth program.
I have to know, again, my own self-worth and my own intelligence, because whatever I do, because I am Black, because I'm trans, because I'm queer, is gonna be questioned.
At Transgender Law Center, we're holding the whole community, right? We think that no one is disposable, that no one is left behind.
Now we're in a moment where we can utilize all the skills we've learned.
As soon as Trump was elected, we were really clear about the ways our community would be targeted. And we knew that what that would mean is that there would be incredible need for direct legal services and support.
And we came up with an emergency response plan, harnessing community power to meet the community need.
So we launched these national training institutes where we brought together transgender nonconforming leaders from all across the country. And what we found time and time again is that trans leaders have been asking for this for so long.
Each and every single day I find inspiration from our community leaders across the country around the ways that they're wanting to intentionally build the leadership of their local communities.
We are building an army of people that can resist the attacks that are happening at this moment.
I do feel like this dark moment has the seeds for a revolution that TLC can lead. And imagine, you see what's happened in just 15 years? The sky's the limit for what TLC can do and accomplish.
I think it's an important moment for supporters and those that love TLC to really continue to invest in TLC because of the cutting edge work that we're doing and because all the ways in which we're stretching all the resources that are given to us.
We will continue to center the most vulnerable and most targeted and make sure that the work we are doing is about meeting the real lived needs of people, the real day-to-day survival needs that we know many of our community is facing. It's really about being able to keep people alive, thriving, and fighting for liberation, justice, and self-determination for our communities. We believe in the leadership.
back, everybody. We have just bedded down for a little bit of a rest. We took a little bit of a break ourselves. Is there anything that anybody wants to talk about or discuss before we jump back into the game? I do want to check and see what's going on with our donations so far. It looks like we are at... Let's take a peek. My page timed out. 1385, nice. Going up a little bit more. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you.
And remember that we will be reading out thank yous for all of the donations at the end of the stream. Without anything else to discuss, I think we can jump into a little bit of a quick recap and hop back into the game. Yeah?
That's it.
Okay, cool. So far, the party had began their journey for the day, not for the day, but for today's session, with the defeat of Clarg, the hill giant that had been shrunken down with a sort of magical device. After he fell at their feet, his club soon after poof, expanded to a large size, and then so did he, blocking their retreat from the cavern. As they explored the cavern around them, they did find that the previously shrunken saber-toothed tiger, through a stroke of luck or perhaps a curse to the creature, had ended up almost permanently shifted into a small size. Marty was able to do a bit of finagling with some treats and homemade cat toys, and the creature eventually bonded to Bree. Upon Sildar's recommendation to escape sooner rather than later, you began to dig through some of the boxes in Clarg's hoard and found a good deal of money, a strange book, and a couple of health potions. And then among the boxes you did find that some of them were what looked like weapons and armor and adventuring supplies from a company called the Lion Shield Coster, and the others just seemed like sort of trade goods, possibly hijacked from various vehicles along the ore trail. You gathered your things and made your way out of the cave and hopped back into your cart and traveled down the road, making your way to the top of a hill where the road split, leading either to Tribor or down to Phandalin. And along the way, Sildar regaled you with a story about the history of Wave Echo Cave and the sort of magic that was held within it and how it became long lost. This sort of spell of Forge, this arcane power that could create magic items seemingly from nothing, became the focal point of a large battle that eventually destroyed and collapsed much of the cave. Recently, Gundren and his two brothers relocated that cave, and on locating it, created a map. Now Gundren and that map have been taken and hidden away in a place called Cragmaw Castle, whose location remains a mystery to the party. Bedded down for the evening, hearts heavy and full of stress from the day's events. There's some near-death experiences and difficult situations from the day before. Made it out alive by the skin of your teeth. Bedding down at nearly 3 in the morning at the sort of top of this hill, you wake from your long rest, having slept far into the day. So 8 hours later would put you at, 11 a.m. or so? Waking near noon.
Yeah. Normal time to wake
up. At the crack of noon, baby!
You all come to being awake. Was anyone, because we just sort of took a break as soon as you began your rest, anybody keeping watch throughout the evening?
Let's say I took a watch.
And I took a watch as well.
Just quick perception checks for either of you, if you will, for me, please.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. That's going to be a 9 from me.
Okay.
And for me, it's, I think, a 15.
Perception?
14.
14. Oleander, your watch is quiet, but what you do notice from this sort of hill as you begin to almost start to fall asleep, you stand up and decide to just take a quick small walk around the campsite, and you can see now from atop the hill where you have parked your cart and made this small camp at this sort of intersection in the road, off way downhill in that direction of Phandalin, you can see almost as if someone had kicked embers across the dirt, just the faintest lights of what looks like civilization below. Sure what this civilization may be, but you might be that close to Phandalin already.
Might be the suburbs, yeah.
Besides that, other than the sounds of the crickets and the occasional owl overhead, your watch is uneventful. Sharing this watch as you sleep, Bree, those owls overhead permeate your dreams. It's hard to say what the dream was, but all you remember upon being awoken by Oleander is just vivid images of this massive tawny and white colored owl sort of stretching its wings out and flying towards you in a flash of white light, and then you're awake. As you wake up, you do hear that sort of overhead, one of the creatures sort of gliding past the moon in silhouette. Wake up and take your watch as well, and it is similarly uneventful, although you are passed by a small group of 2 men on horseback in the night as you stand at this intersection in the road. You pass them, hear what sounds like a dark chuckle from one of the men, and low murmured conversation between the two of them. But with a perception check of 14, you're not sure what it was they were discussing. You wake.
Nothing.
The rest of your watch concludes with watching the sun rise far in the east over the sort of expanse of plains and mountains, and as you watch it come up now, you can clearly see that those sort of lights that you had seen down in the valley before is indeed a small town. What would you like to do? Sort of wake up, anything you all want to take care of or handle before you prepare your descent down into the town of Phandalin?
Anyone else feel stronger?
No, you feel perfectly normal. You've trained for this your whole lives.
Sorry, what were you going to say, Ambrose?
Ambrose, hunger, need food badly.
Good. Yeah, good words.
Can I heat up some rations over our burning embers of a fire?
Yeah, without too much trouble and using some of your more pyromantic cantrips to restore the fire to its former heat as it dwindled throughout the night and early morning. You were able to establish a decent cooking fire, warm up some food, and it's not bad, but it's not good either.
Warm hardtack. It's better than cold hardtack.
Wonderful.
I believe that.
With that, after you have woken up, you are all level 2, so we're just going to go ahead and roll for hit points. To explain how I do it, I think when we tried playing at higher levels, we never did that. Okay, cool. So
we did it, but not on camera.
Okay. So we're going to do the same thing that we did before, which is a roll and hedge, where you'll roll and then I'll roll, and you can decide which of the two that you want to keep. you don't get to know what mine is unless I roll a 1, and then in that case I will tell you. So with that, who wants to go first?
I can.
All right. So, Oleander, you are a D8, correct?
Yes.
You are a delight.
You.
Go ahead and roll your D8 and then decide if you would like to take what you rolled or gamble and take whatever I rolled.
I'm sorry, you froze up there for a second. Could you just repeat the exact thing you just said?
Yeah, no problem. So after you roll your D8, you can choose if you want to take what you rolled and add that to your hit points, or you can take what I rolled, but you don't know what I rolled. The only thing that you're sure of is because I didn't tell you, I didn't roll a 1.
Got it. Ooh. You know what? Give me what you rolled.
What did you get?
I got a 3.
Got a 3? Well, that's good because I rolled a 6.
All right.
Yes! All right! Woo!
So now on D&D Beyond, you can go into Edit Your Character. And you're going to go over to your Class tab. Or sorry, yeah, it's the Class tab. And the very top, there's a little blue button that says Manage HP.
Ah, okay.
And your rolled HP right now should be 8, because for level 1, you automatically get the maximum for your dice. So you add 8 and 6. So you give yourself a 14 there.
All right.
And then the D&D Beyond will do the rest, which includes like you're adding your Constitution modifier every level and all that kind of stuff. So,
come on,
cool.
D&D Beyond, catch up with my. Here we
Who
go. Okay.
would like to go next?
I'll go.
Go for it. Are you also a D8? I think you are, right?
Yes.
Okay. What would you like?
Take that.
I believe I will take mine. It is a 7.
7? Good, because I had a 6. Again.
Hey, wow, still pretty good. But would have been a fool.
That's awesome. Yeah. Keep that 7.
Yeah.
All right. Who's up next? Ambrose or Bree?
I'll go next.
Go for it. You're a D6, right?
Yep.
Alrighty.
I'll take what you had.
What'd you get? A 1?
A 1.
Yeah, well, I have a 4 for you, so that's good.
Oh, sick. Okay.
A nice wizard number.
Yeah.
Alright, and
Good.
then for Bree, you're a D10, right?
Yes. I'll take what you rolled.
Okay, what'd you get?
I rolled a 3.
Good, because I have an 8. I rolled
Yeah!
Everybody took mine and everybody got better stuff. That's awesome. Cool.
Alright, nobody.
Oh, wait,
When I
no.
get a
Somebody got a 7. I forget who that was, but that was Glass, right?
What's that?
You got a 7 of your
I
own?
got a 7.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Okay, so everybody knows how to put that in. Let me know if you have questions. And then,
16.
excuse me.
Wait.
During the break, everybody took care of their spells and new features for their levels, and we will incorporate those throughout the game as we play. So.
Heck yeah.
Great.
Shift here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me too. Beefy.
Damn. Bree can take multiple hits now, y'all.
Yeah. Wow.
All of you should be able to, hopefully.
Depends on the head.
Thank you. Finally.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm looking for hits, but you know.
I mean, if they come to you, you'll be ready. Cool. My brain feels a little bigger too.
All right.
Oh.
My brain's so full of facts.
I don't want to say anything, but I can tell.
Wow.
As you pack up your campsite and snuff out the fire, you take a peek over sort of the edge of this hill where the signpost lays. The road below you switches back and forth several times through these tall pines as it descends the hill, leading you down into a valley. And where the road levels out below, you can see the rooftops and chimneys of no more than 20 buildings or so, surrounded by a few small farms, some patches of trees, and various trails that lead off into the surrounding hillsides. Your first sight of Phandalin is less than impressive. You were not really sure what you were expecting, but after a journey this far, you were at least hoping for some remnant somewhere of modern civilization. This town, however, seems like little more than a blip on the map. You all sort of wonder to yourselves if this quiet backwoods settlement could truly be the seat of the sort of powerful history-defining discovery that Sildar and Gundren believe it to be. Pause for a moment and take in sort of the dry, high-altitude air here amongst the dirt, the smell of grass, trees around you, and the sight of your destination has refreshed this sort of dull ache that all of you have pushed down for a bit. Well, maybe all of you, maybe not all, to get back to the civilized world. He pushes himself up to his feet on his crutch. Phandalin, says Sildar, as if announcing it somehow makes it more impressive. You swallow the expectations that rise in your throat, and if you'd like to, you can begin this descent down into town.
It seems quaint.
Maybe it's still really far away. And it's very big.
We're sure this is Phandalin, right? And not like Phandalin or Phandalin.
Yeah. Spelled with a
Yeah,
Y.
this is Phandalin Heights. We're not going to get into Phandalin proper until a little down the road.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I was concerned for a minute.
That's right.
Let's keep going.
Yeah, let's descend.
I'm sure they have a spa, just like any small town.
Of course.
Yeah.
You load into the cart and begin your descent down this sort of trail that switches back several times before it levels out on the ground below. And about halfway down the hill, you come around one of the switchbacks and you see another pair of men on horseback riding towards you. They both sort of instinctively pull to one side of the road to pass you.
Are they human?
Both of them appear to be human, yes. One of them wears sort of a large, flat-brimmed hat that's tilted down over the eyes, and the other has what looks like a bandana around their neck.
I give him a little nod as we pass.
As they pass you, they sort of reach back and push back vests and place their hands on the hilt of swords at their hips, which you definitely take as a sign of aggression. Hear from one of them. Eee! Look at this fresh meat. And the other one says, "Howdy, ladies. You looking for some company?"
Wow! The salt of the earth, the common clay. We get to experience local flavors so early in our journey.
Yeah.
I was
say.
Grips his staff. He's ready for a bonkin.
Should I do the crossbow practice over there?
Please.
They're just
These are
about
clearly
to complete sort of passing your wagon, and the couple of you seated next to Sildar watch as he just sort of pulls the greatsword out just enough to bear a few inches of the greatsword and its scabbard at them.
I'm just gonna yell after them, like, that's some amateur shit.
And you sort of spur into their horses and ride off, and you just hear from the distance, "You'll regret that, stranger."
Oh, boy.
Nice.
I was being friendly here.
Yeah.
Listen, this isn't Baldur's Gate. If they see somebody like me with the, it's they're gonna skin me alive out here.
Sildar,
I need to present a professional and pleasant foot forward so that I may establish friendly ties with the community and show that we are not threats.
I don't know if if a pleasant face is what's going to keep you alive out here. Hasn't worked for me too good.
As they ride off and round the corner, sort of making their way back up the switchback, you can see behind them are these this pair of grimy red cloaks that hang from their shoulders that sort of flap in the wind. They seem to match. You pull into town. You reach the bottom of this switchback. Yeah, is there something you wanted to say? Sorry.
Just, I should have asked before, but like nothing. I didn't recognize them at all.
No, you don't recognize their faces. No.
Okay.
Well, that went well.
Would Ambrose recognize their cloaks?
Go ahead and make a history check for me.
Ooh, 23.
Jeez.
Wow.
That's why
we're all on fire tonight, Nero.
They were both red, but they don't look like they were both made and sort of constructed in the same way. It looked to you like not any sort of like a military uniform that was all standard issue or anything like that. They're not sort of they didn't both get those cloaks from the same place, but both of them had red cloaks on, which indicates to you that they're not really a member of some sort of higher power, but they were wearing some sort of garment to indicate something, but you're not sure what.
Maybe they just both like the color red.
I'm gonna keep an eye out for some red cloaks.
Could be it.
Could be it.
Maybe.
There's no reason to be paranoid here, is there?
There are no coincidences.
This is, yeah.
Okay, Mulder, jeez.
As you make your way back down and past the last switchback, and the rutted track that you drive on emerges from the wooded hillside, the track slowly widens and becomes a thoroughfare. At least, sort of a thoroughfare. Begin to catch your first up-close glances at Phandalin. Town consists of about 30 to 40 simple log buildings built on what look like old fieldstone foundations, but sort of behind and scattered amongst all of these buildings, you can see crumbling stone walls and old foundations that are now overgrown with ivy and briars, showing that at one point, well back in history, this must have been a much, much larger town, but now very few bits of the town are established with any sort of modern building.
Yeah, this definitely feels like an old mining town.
Must have been pretty nice in its day, though. There's potential here.
It's rustic.
Yeah.
Somebody else thought that too, and they built a mine.
Most of the newer looking buildings, as you sort of make your way past them, are set on either side of this sort of cart track that you are on. You can see the areas where the road has become deeply rutted are filled with old water that become these long mirrors for the noon sun overhead. Ahead of you, the road widens out into what looks like a central square of sorts. From here, you can see dead ahead of you is an inn that looks like it's 2 stories tall, crafted of rough-hewn timber on a stone foundation, much like many of the old ruins that you see here. And if the road didn't widen into a square here, if you continue to drive straight forward, you would drive directly into the inn. It's sort of put not at a parting of the road, but in the middle almost of this large clearing. To the east of the inn, there is a sturdy stone building with a pitched wooden roof that has a small bell tower at the back that looks like a town hall of sorts. And then even further to the east, you watch as this road sort of takes a turn and heads up this hillside towards this old ruined manor house that sits on the hillside that looks somewhere between a home and a castle, but is aged and decrepit. beyond any sort of grandeur that it might have once possessed. As you sit in the cart, you watch as Sildar sort of shifts in his seat. For the first time, you see him slouch a bit. Previously sort of been sitting, almost completely rigid, and he lets out this big sigh of relief, and he seems much more at ease. He says, I've heard the inn here is quaint. Shall we?
Sure. Why don't we check ourselves in and maybe see what this town has to offer us?
As we're riding, Glass is gonna peek out the back of the cart just to see if we are drawing any more attention, kind of like we did with the two folks as we passed.
Go ahead and make a perception check for me. And like this, while he's making that roll, if in anything I ever describe, anybody wants me to pause or you want to take a look at it, just pop your hand up, because it's tough with the video call to pause and sort of thing.
20.
You take a look around, and you can see that in several of the buildings, at least the ones that are newer looking and not fully abandoned, there are eyes that peer at you from out of the windows. You can see a few of the people who sort of are either guiding carts or making their way around this sort of clearing where the inn stands in the center, whether they be carrying farm goods or large carts of hay. Anyone who is out and about has their gaze directed at you. Are a strange sight. And you
must
don't
not get many visitors here.
Sure
don't
doesn't
necessarily
seem
get
like
a
it.
hostile vibe from anybody, but you are very much noticed.
I hope they like us.
Maybe we should have ridden it at night.
Yeah.
What's
So, team, I forget, did we say, are Gundren's brothers here? Is that who he was meeting up with?
He did mention brothers, yes.
I think so.
Okay.
Shall we check our handy dandy notes?
Not that's mine. Would have been from previous. Alright, well, Sildar definitely has a contact.
Sildar would know.
Oh yeah.
He told us.
As far as I'm aware, obviously we know Gundren lies elsewhere, but his brothers were supposed to be at least here or in the area somewhere, either scouting for other entrances, exploring the cave itself, or doing what they could to establish themselves here in town. So I would not be surprised to see them, but
They might be the ones to contact, both in order to get our little search operation underway and to get our other little search operation underway to find Gundar himself. Or Gundren. Brain fart.
I was like, that's a nice snippet.
Coffee is still kicking in.
It's Sildar and Gundren's power couple name.
Yeah.
Gundar.
Let the fan art commence.
Oh god, no, please.
Hashtag Gundar.
The inn is probably a good place to start.
Yep.
What's the name of the inn?
You make your way up to the sort of modest roadhouse, if you will. It has sort of swinging double doors on the front of it and painted in old sort of peeling paint above the door is a simple sign that just says Stonehill Inn and Saloon.
You made the mistake of saying Roadhouse, and we all thought about Patrick Swayze.
That wasn't a mistake. It was a calculated decision and a hint.
I did not think about that at all, so any sort of information you glean from that reference has nothing to do with the game, and I'm very sorry for that.
Okay.
Oh, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
There is a large porch here. There are several hitching posts in front of it. A few of them have troughs full of water that it doesn't look stagnant or nasty or anything like that in front of it. Plenty of places to sort of hitch the horses and leave your goods while you go inside. And as you look inside past these double doors, you can see the warm, rich glow of firelight. And from outside now, you're beginning to catch whiffs in the smell of what smells like the preparation of various roasted meats and various edible fares you would expect at a sort of place like this.
Seems pretty nice. Why don't we head on in and I suppose we should sort out grabbing rooms for the night. And then after that we can drop our stuff off and maybe poke around in the common area of the inn to see if anybody knows any the Rockseeker brothers. Maybe we could also have a look around town, possibly. Does that sound good, everybody?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should ask the innkeeper if they've
because they would also be visitors, right?
What's that?
They would also be visitors, right? So it doesn't seem they get a lot of visitors here, so if they've seen anything, I'm sure they'll know.
If anyone's come through town before, I think people will remember.
Yeah.
But more importantly, food and drink.
That too.
Open your eyes.
As you sort of pull your cart up to the hitching posts and pull it to a stop, Sildar just sort of says, "Here, here," and scoots his way out of the back, gingerly sort of stepping onto his one good leg and hobbling his way up towards the sort of swinging saloon-style doors at the front of this inn. As you enter, you can now see that there is quite a few people in here, despite it being midday. Looking around, you can see, there's a common room as you first come in that has sort of a 2-story high ceiling with a swath of locals around that are all nursing mugs of ale and cider. All of them, as soon as you sort of enter through the doors, they begin to eye you with a sense of curiosity. Against one of the walls looks like a well-stocked bar, behind which is a sort of shortish, pale-skinned, dark brown, cropped short with a big burly mustache and large sideburns of a man. Looks like probably the inn and barkeep. You can see there's a barmaid that's sort of running about handling a few of the tables. A young boy that's running across one of the balconies overhead. And then just a variety of locals that are inside. What would you like to do?
I'm going to try to disappear behind glass as much as possible.
I will
just not be seen.
I will let that happen.
Where is Sildar heading?
Sildar is making his way inside, and as soon as he gets within a foot inside the door, he just sort of holds the swinging door open for the rest of you to make your way inside.
What a gentleman! I stride on in confidently.
Walk in like that picture of John Lennon with his leg.
You're in the Ministry of Silly Walks.
Using my rapier as a cane.
Who's got the money here, see? Make your way inside. Making your way up to the counter, or taking a seat, or exploring. What would you like to do?
Is there?
I'd like to make my way up to the counter, please.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow.
Okay, you make your way up to the sort of bar that seems to have a register at one end, and the man with a large mustache and the big sideburns sort of finishes cleaning out a glass with a rag and sets it down on the table and makes his way over. He says,
"Howdy, it's good to see some strangers in town. How can I help you?"
Hi. Well, it's a pleasure to be here. We were looking to rent a couple rooms for the night, and I'm sure my friends here wouldn't mind to eat, maybe some a liquid like to drink. And I also wanted to we'll start with that.
Well, that's no problem. We got plenty of space here for you at the inn. How many rooms did you want to procure for yourself?
Two would be fantastic.
I will also look at Sildar doing this.
Oh yeah.
We can make that 3.
He makes a gesture that sort of indicates, like, don't worry about it, I'll get my own.
Okay, cool. 2 then. 2.
All right, no problem then. And grab you the keys for those here in just a moment. Your rooms are going to be about 5 silver pieces a day for lodging. As long as that's a fair deal for you. We do meals here that can be included in all this for you. If you'd like, it's 3 silver pieces a day for 3 square meals. And aside from that, there's sort of points up behind him, and you can see there's a chalkboard upon which is scratched the prices of several meals and drinks.
I suppose, maybe looking at the prices listed up there, try to make a comparison, make sure that he's not, pulling one over on us with those prices.
He's reading off the menu, and it's a pretty reasonable price.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Great. No rule. That's fine.
All right. So
can I put down 8 silver? I guess in advance for the first night, or
yeah, that'll handle a room and a half.
Yes, that's 16 for, or no, if there's 4 people, 2 rooms, 3 per person.
You don't need to pay per person. Don't worry about that. It's just 5 silver a room a night.
5 silver a room.
And plus 3 each for food.
3 each for food.
The math starts appearing in front of glasses.
It's 16 total for one night.
What he said.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I know.
Oh, you wanted to stick with the meals, I understand. So that'll be
meals as well.
22 silver pieces for the 4 of you for 2 rooms and 4 sets of square meals.
You get 11, you will get 11.
All right. Perfect.
Yes. Cool.
Place.
I'll lay down. If we want to take turns, I can cover this first evening, and then
we'll just split it. We'll split the check, and then it's easy.
Yeah. So
you, everybody.
Sure.
I'll get the check, and you get the tip, and yeah. God, nothing worse than splitting checks live on the air.
Really?
Okay. He takes the coin and sorts it and places it into the sort of old-looking mechanical iron-crafted till that he has on the counter there. And then after a few minutes, he says, "Selena, hey, sweetheart, you mind helping me out here?" And you watch as this woman makes her way up. She's also human, fair skin, just ruddy, bright red cheeks. She seems like she has sort of a healthy vigor to her. She's shorter, pretty curvy, this golden mop of messy hair that's all pulled back with a bow, and then she has these big curled bangs that sort of hang over the front of her eyebrows. She says, "Well, hey, y'all, we taking you up to a couple rooms?"
Yes.
The innkeeper taking your money says, "Well, y'all let me know if you need any help here. You can just call for Toblin or my wife, Trilena here if you... Yes? How can I help you?"
I was just going to ask your name, but then you gave it.
Gotcha. And I suppose no need to ask for your names, but you're welcome to make friendly with me, my wife, and, I mean, don't let my son cause you any trouble up there. And he watches the small child sort of runs back and forth along the balcony up above again.
One more question, actually.
Yes, ma'am.
We had some business associates of ours possibly come through town a while back. The Rockseeker brothers. Did you hear from them at all?
I think you're referring to them couple of dwarves, huh?
Yeah. That's them.
Well, I mean, I know he's been kind of busy in town here lately with everything that's been developing. I ain't seen his brothers here in a bit. They usually spend most of their time camped outside of town doing whatever it is they're trying to do out there, but, I mean, I suppose you could ask at the general store, see if he picked up any supplies before they sacked up and headed out. Probably be the last person to see just about anybody before they leave town.
Okay.
So a couple of weeks since you saw them?
Oh, shoot. Yeah, I'd say a couple weeks at most.
And they've come through a few times.
I mean, yeah, I've seen them in town a couple of times, but they're the one with all the jewelry and stuff with the big beard. That's usually does most of the talking. The other two just kind of, drink a lot, play a lot of cards. Good customers, but not too talkative.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you very much. We'll ask at the general store next.
I'll drop him just 2 silver on the table.
Okay.
Just say thank you.
It's at this point, Oleander, that you feel something not sharp like a blade, but pointed jab into sort of your back, just inside of your hip. And you hear from just below and behind you "Got ye! You better not snoop around our tunnel!" And you turn and you see a small blonde child, the same boy that you had seen running around with a small wooden sword sort of stuck into your back.
Oh no! You got me!
Pip, what are you doing? Miss Toblin sort of leans over the counter and says, "You can't do that to customers. How many times I gotta... Charlena, you take him upstairs for me, please." And he's like, "All right, I'll grab him." Sort of grabs him and he says, "I'm a red brand, though." Sort of starts to try to fend off his mother. As the mother sort of picks him up, you can hear as he's taken away, he says, "Well, can't do that, honey." And the kid just says, "Well, Carp told me he was in the woods and found a tunnel he wanted to explore with me, and the red brands almost got him." And sort of tries to jab the mother, who just pulls the sword down and takes it gently out of his hands. "Yep, listen, under no circumstances are you to go into the woods over by the manor. I've told you it's dangerous, especially if there's red brands skulking about."
We're all just
watching this scene sort of happen.
Break it down.
Toblin sort of leans over and says, "I am so sorry about that. He's got a big imagination, and he's always getting into trouble with Cooline's son, so I apologize."
It's fine.
Find your rooms, or they're going to be the first 2 at the top of the stairs there.
That's cute. My siblings used to do that to me too, but they used real swords, so it was.
Let's go upstairs.
Let's go upstairs.
There it is.
While everybody heads up the stairs, I'm gonna hang back for just a second and ask the innkeeper. Red Brand's been hanging out around here lately?
It's a little strange for me to find that someone who's not local to the neighborhood knows the name, but yeah, they're causing trouble all over the place.
Sorry about that.
Then that his wife sort of butts in and just says, "Man, them sons of bitches, can't believe they murdered Thel in cold blood."
Thel?
Oh, he's one of the locals. He's a potter around here, but yeah, the bastards were leering at his wife and hollering something fierce, and Thel found out. He went over to the sleeping giant and tried to stand up to him, play chivalrous hero and all that, but they cut him down where he stood, right in the middle of the saloon. Wasn't even close to a fair fight, from what I hear at least. And worst part is nobody's seen him.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I haven't seen his wife and his kid around neither.
What do they look like?
Dale?
His wife and his kid. What are their names? When was the last time you saw them?
Let me find out for you.
This town clearly does not have any entertainment.
Yeah.
Because they are just like a crumb of gossip. Better.
It does feel a little bit like Westworld, where it's like,
Yeah.
like some strangers show up and they're like, "All right, everybody, run the show."
Yeah. Oops, I dropped my quest right in front of you.
Well, his wife Nilsa, I mean, she's pretty plain looking. I mean, don't tell her I said that, but he's usually got her hair pulled back all neat in a little ponytail, and I don't know, he's got a couple of kids, but they're both, I mean, they should be able to take care of themselves. They're teenagers by now, but both of them been missing.
All right, we'll keep an eye out for them.
All right, well, don't get yourself in any trouble you didn't ask for. You hear?
I'm always asking for trouble.
Well, just not inside our doors. That's all we ask.
I can promise that much.
All right, you want us to send somebody up with some drinks or some food here in a little bit?
Class from the top of the stairs. Yes!
Yeah.
Alrighty. I can do that. I'll send Elsa up here in a little bit for you. Anything else you'd like to do before you make your way upstairs?
Who's rooming with who?
Make your way.
I mean, you were the one who dragged me upstairs, so I assume you wanted to bunk together, Ambrose. Unless you want to do like one room for the masks and one room for the femmes, which is also okay. However, everybody wants to split up is fine by me.
I'm gonna stay with Glass.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, also fine. Also fine. Ambrose, yeah!
Ready.
Horny party, what's up?
I would clack horns with you, but you're like 4 feet taller than me.
Yeah, I would have to bend over very, very
Yeah, it
far.
wouldn't work.
We're just watching them have this conversation in the doorway.
Let's kind of wiggle horns at each other.
It's a horny party thing.
Yeah,
you wouldn't get it.
Cool.
I think we're fun too.
Yeah.
Real barrel of laughs.
Hey, we have to make our own fun out here on the road.
Yeah.
Big free up at Tosser.
As you get upstairs, you cross that sort of catwalk-like balcony that has several doors in it. And as soon as you finish speaking to the innkeep, you watch as Sildar makes his way up and begins a similar conversation, requesting a room for a few days and paying for his thing, and that sort of fades into this behind you. You swing open the wooden doors into the rooms, and they are, for no abuse of the word, quaint, at best. They're not uncomfortable, but they are in no way, shape, or form lavish. Just a couple of simple beds, single desk in one corner, and a single nightstand between the two beds. There is a trunk at the foot of each bed for which to store belongings, and beyond that, there is a single sort of wash bin-sized tub wherein a bath could be taken would hot water be brought up.
Truly a room.
Nice. Not fancy, but not too bad. I will say though, just between horny pals, I was intrigued in no small part by that manor house up on the hill. Who do you think lives there?
Is this a conversation with all four, or is it just?
It was just Ambrose.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, we should check that out.
Yeah. 'Cause I don't. It seems pretty like kind of a fixer-upper there. But I'm
sure you know a lot about manor houses.
Yeah. Because if somebody lives there, then that means there's a social circle, and I need to get invited to one of their debutante balls, and it's going to be this whole big thing.
Yeah.
What,
like that you throw?
No, like a gala, like a soiree, like a to-do,
I knew that, yeah.
I
knew that.
Just sort of wondering, because this looks like a little bit of a rustic burg.
Yeah,
but
I don't know if there's many galas.
Yeah, if there's some at least small remnant of the landed gentry, maybe I can make some sort of connection there. And if there isn't one, maybe I could.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe I could start being one. All I'm saying.
I mean, do you really want to be part of that here? Only chiefly for Miles.
That is true, but a noble isn't a noble unless you're from somewhere. You need to start out. You need to have something. You need to
money.
Well, yes, but if you could just be a noble by having money, then every podunk merchant across the entire country would be a noble.
You'd be surprised.
It's about building. It's statecraft. Like I was talking with Yemek in the cave. If I'm ever to take on my horrid, odious family eventually, I'm going to need to start somewhere.
Just,
Trust me. I have tried. Where I am now,
doesn't work.
It's just not going to happen. If I could have, I would have done it a long time ago. But believe me, ain't happening.
Okay.
But might be something to look into later while we're here.
Yeah. Tell me more about that later.
Yeah, of course. I'm an open book, except for the pages that are glued together. Mostly open.
Shudders in fear at the idea of a book having pages glued together. Monstrous.
A true nightmare.
This place is weird.
Yeah. Small town, but sure seems like there's a lot going on. And not even like under the surface or anything. It's all like right there.
Yeah. I've never learned so much so fast.
Yeah. I have to say, a little nervous about those guys we passed on the way in. Something told me that wasn't empty threats.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We're gonna have to keep an eye out. An adventure.
Yeah.
You hear a knock at your door, seemingly simultaneously at both of yours, and as you open it, you see sort of standing in between the two doors as they open is this barmaid in very simple apron, carrying a tray laden with 4 large sort of wooden mugs, frothy at the top, and in the center a sort of spread of a variety of smoked and cooked meats, some roasted vegetables, potatoes, carrots, that sort of thing. Basically just a big, hearty, more of a dinner kind of a meal, but served here during the lunch hours. And just sort of... I was told to bring this up to y'all. Wanted to see if you were hungry at all, that's all.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
This is all part of the tab, so enjoy yourself.
Cool. Thank you.
You can holler over the balcony. You need anything else, you hear?
Right.
Okay.
Man, they're really friendly here.
Thanks.
I mean, maybe you're misjudged of this town. It seems like it's just a bunch of hardworking, common clay people just trying to eke out a living out here on the frontier.
We're like peeking around the door at each other.
This is great. I feel like I'm Scooby-Doo.
It's like when you have a hotel room with like the adjoining door in the middle. You're like, wow.
Oh yeah, we can bother each other now. This is great.
You have to unlock your door too.
I don't think we have a key for it.
You don't need a key.
I'll call the front desk.
I'll call the front desk.
Hi, front desk.
I told them I was staying here, so we need to hide her.
So Bree is gonna take her mug and her plate and just kind of march back into the room and sit down in a corner and quietly start eating on her own.
Just as you're about to sort of make your way back into your room, you see the storeroom, Ambrose and Oleander's room, and then one door down from that, Sildar just sort of pokes his head out and says,
Just wanted to let you know that I'm in this room. Should you need anything, just let me know.
And just sort of carefully closes it back.
You want to hang out?
Awkward old man.
Do you want me to hang out?
Nope, just an open invitation.
Right. Good afternoon. And he sort of shuts the
I was trying to think of some like stupid ass made up like slang to like days away just confuse him.
Making yourselves comfortable, full, and taking care of the parched throats that you have from the long travel and the dusty road. Comfortable in your rooms, have enjoyed a excellent meal. Actually really, really well prepared. What would you like to do? I would say probably by now it's starting to be sort of mid-afternoon, maybe the very, very start of evening. You do still have, parked outside is your cart full of all of your stuff.
Yeah,
horses.
let's get together. I think maybe we should focus on finding a place to return this mining gear to first, because otherwise we're just going to be dragging it around everywhere.
Are we peeking around the door at each other again, or
I mean,
in one person?
Can we just say that we're all two of us are grouped up in the other two's room?
Okay.
Just for simplicity's sake, because if we keep doing this peeking thing, they're going to think that we're losing our minds.
He's just
I can't believe my brain just went like 4 of us shouldn't be together in a room. Like,
why?
I just was like quarantine brain. Like we can't do that.
No, it's fine. This is the magical realm of fantasy where we don't need to keep our mouths covered when we talk at each other.
We've just marched on in.
Yeah.
Hey y'all.
I think that all sounds good, but I think we should take, if we've got any stuff in that cart that's ours, it sounds like we should move it in here. I don't know if I trust this town to let strangers go, unaffected.
Yeah.
A fair concern. Let's bring our stuff inside here, and let's. Where would we take? I suppose we could ask Stildar. Where would we take this extra mining stuff? I guess the next task would be to find the other two Rockseeker brothers, huh? So we might need to start asking around at the general store about that.
So did you invite Sildar into the room with you then? He's in your room party?
No, he's still up, but I'm saying to them like we should probably knock on his door and ask him before we leave.
Yeah. Can all 4 of us go to his room?
Yeah.
Surprise!
We're
here!
Grandpa!
Brought some beers, dude. You want to hang out?
Yeah!
Yeah, as you make your way over and knock at the door, you hear sort of like a and then sort of a as he hobbles his way over to the door with his crutch, and you see the door swing open. He goes,
"Oh, yes. What can I do for you?"
It's us.
We were just wondering. You mentioned that we should be dropping off that mining equipment somewhere. Would you have any idea of where we should be dropping that off, or should we just try to find the bros? Because Gundra's kind of MIA right now, so.
As far as I'm aware, the original contract was just between Gundren and Bothan's Provisions, which is just outside here. I think even without Gundren here, doesn't feel right saying that, but even without him here, you should be able to drop it off and at least receive payment for delivering the goods.
Okay, cool. Then we can do that, and we can ask about the other Rockseeker brothers. And maybe we can start planning out an effort to get Gundren back. Somebody's got to rescue him, and I bet that somebody has got to be us. You not included, Sildar. You have to heal. I'm talking about us four. You can come if you like, or you can chill here. It's your call. You're your own person, but, you know.
Do you want us to get you anything at the store?
Yeah, we can pick you up something.
Yeah.
If they have any sort of and you can see he's struggling with just like the idea of asking for help from anyone. But he does he takes out a small coin purse and just sort of places it into your hand, Ambrose, and says, anything they have in the form of a splint would be greatly appreciated.
Tuck that away. You just give a solid nod. Yeah, I got you.
All
Really
right. We'll be right back in 2 shakes of the lamb's tail. Don't you worry about that.
Just 2 guys being dudes.
As we are, if we're leaving, I'm just gonna before he shuts his door, I'm just gonna say, flip it up, and just put my hand out like that.
He sort of looks over to Ambrose and then looks back to you, and
I gave the coins to your friend.
No, it's a...
Too slow.
The door just sort of shuts.
We'll get them next time, Glass.
Yeah. Someday we'll figure out how to flip it up.
Yeah.
Stay classy, Glassy.
Teach an old drug some new tricks. As you all sort of stand now outside of Solar's room on the balcony, overlooking the common room of the Stonehill Inn and Saloon, what would you like to do?
I think we should... I should let other people talk. I'm sorry.
Let's return some mining equipment.
Let's do that. And what was the child talking about earlier with red brands? Do you think that's related to those coats that were also red? I know what colors are. I'm very smart.
I'm a wizard. I know colors.
I know that doesn't seem very impressive, but 1 out of every 3 players is colorblind, so that's actually quite an achievement.
I don't... Yeah. I'm curious about this tunnel that this kid was talking about.
I'm curious about that manor house.
Something tells me they are related.
Yeah, we'll
Be
get
fair.
to both, I think.
He did tell us to stay away from his tunnel.
It's never stopped us before.
Yeah.
That's never stopped us from getting into a tunnel before. We've
They
been
call it
through at
stealing
least
candy
several
from
tunnels
because it's
in the past 48 hours.
Let's drop that stuff off first and get some stuff for Sildar. We can use our huge brains while we walk.
Okay, it's a fine size. It's
Yours might be fine, but mine's huge. That's why I have to wear the hat.
yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Mine's fine. Class storms down the stairs.
I guess we're talking about this now.
He counts the stairs as he goes down, just to be impressive with numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And impressive your counting is. You make your way down the stairs, through the common room, and out the double swinging doors of the saloon and inn, back onto the wooden porch where you can see in front of you, hitched to horse hitching posts in front of those long troughs full of water, a couple of your horses taking a long drink, and as you approach, they sort of sit up and snort a bit. Your cart is where you left it.
Is everything still in our cart okay? Good. Cool.
Exactly.
Let's head over to the general store.
Who wants to carry the heavy stuff?
Well, the cart.
The horses.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
We have.
They love that.
I'm not going to lug this with my arms, please.
Let's
Manual
take that
labor.
cart
Give me
over.
a break.
We let the horses do it.
Thank you, horses.
As you climb out of the cart and sort of take a look around the square here, you can see directly across the square from where the inn stands, one of the buildings that you passed on the way in just before it spread out into this square is a building that you can see from the distance has this large sort of false front on the front of it. It is a gabled roof in the back and then a large sort of, I forget the name of it. It's going to drive me crazy.
A facade?
A facade, thank you. And as you approach, you can see painted on the top of it, it says Barthren's Provisions, and then underneath which you can see it says Mining Supplies and General Goods, and then on either of the windows, sort of hand-painted, it again says Phandalin's Trading Post since 1484, and then on the other side it says Adventuring Gear courtesy of Lion Shield Coster. The front of this building does have those two plate glass windows with the hand-painted lettering on them. Otherwise, it's a relatively simple building. You can see sort of around the back and attached to the building is a small enclosed stable with what looks like enough room for either a few carts or several horses. And then inside through the windows, you can see maybe 5 or 6 rows of shelves that all seem to be pretty heavily stocked with trade goods and supplies.
Head on into
the door swings open and rings a small bell that hangs above it. You can see sort of reclining behind the counter is this human girl with dark brown hair, and she seems to be just sort of focused on taking a small file to her nails. And as you enter, she glances up at you momentarily and then returns her vision back down to her nails. She reclines in a tall, stool-like chair and has both of her feet sort of stacked on top of the counter. In addition to her, you can also see what looks like a sort of young, strapping young teenage boy who seems to be stocking a few of the shelves with various goods. And he, as you enter, just sort of gives a bit of a wave and goes back to his work.
Cool. I guess we head up to the counter and
march right on up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Hi.
Without looking up, the girl just sort of says, "All right, how can I help you?"
Well, we're associates of Gundren Rockseeker, and we're here to return some mining equipment that was previously waylaid.
Yeah, I don't really know about any of that. Ander, you know nothing about that? Just hear sort of a gruff, like, "Nah, I don't. Hang on. I'll go get Barthen. I'll be right back." And you just watch the sort of young man make his way out of the back door, and after a few moments he returns with another man who introduces himself. Says, "Oh, hey, it's good to have you in the store here. How can I help you? You said something about some mining goods that you were bringing in?"
Yeah. We were on a job with our friend Gundren, but
Rockseeker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the feller.
she may be unable to complete that as things currently stand. So we were told to return this stuff back to you, folk.
Well, fair enough. I suppose you have the delivery goods that he was supposed to bring in then?
Yeah, that's the stuff. That's what we're doing. Yeah.
All right, good to hear it. And Gundren's, I suppose, busy with some sort of scheme or sick or something.
Yeah, he's currently indisposed at the moment. He can't make it, but we are acting in his stead.
All right, fair enough. Well, go outside and take a quick look at the supplies real fast with you, and we'll take a quick stock, make sure everything's as it should be, and get y'all paid and on your way, unless there's anything here that you need to pick up while you're here.
We may take a quick look around afterwards, but thank you so much. Let's do that. Why don't we?
No problem at all. And he sort of guides you back outside across the porch and over to your wagon, wherein as you throw back the canvas and he inspects all the goods, he says, yeah, I mean, looks like everything's here. It's looking forward to see Gundren himself, but that's all right. Come back on inside and we'll grab you your payment and get you squared away and out of here. And he takes you back inside, sets out a 10 gold pouch for each of you, slides them across the table to you. Says,
thank you. Incidentally, also, we were also told that we need to get into contact with his brothers, the other Rockseeker brothers. We don't know whereabouts they might be staying, because we heard that they weren't staying in town, but around the general vicinity.
Well, I mean, Nundro and Tharden they're camped somewhere outside of town, but I haven't seen them in a 10-day or so. Do kind of expect them to return any day now to resupply, because they usually come back here every 10-day or so, and they didn't take too much stuff with them, but I mean, Lord knows when they'll be back in town. They kind of pop in, buy some stuff, and head back out. I don't see too much of them.
Could you tell me a little bit more about what people look like?
Oh, well, just lost my spot.
Sorry to make you improv.
That's all right. No, you're good. I'm not improving. I just lost my spot on my notes. Well, Nundro's, he's sort of got more of a shaved head, and then a large beard, but his beard's that sort of deep blackish color. I mean, obviously a dwarf just like the rest of his brothers. And then Tharden, he's got sort of that nice, long, flowing coif of red hair that you can tell he's got away with the ladies with hair like that, and his beard's usually split in it.
Right, that's what you can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Experience.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye out for them. Thank you so much for your help. And if we see them out in the hills, we'll send it right back to you. If they've been going for this long, they're probably going to need a restock. Did we want to look around before we left? Hi, Ambrose. Sorry.
Oh, I didn't even see. I'm so sorry. That's my bad.
Oh no, it's okay. While Olinder's talking, am I able to take a look at not only the supplies for Splints, but also the two teens that were working to see what the vibe is? Like, are they paying close attention to us, or?
Pretty much as soon as Barthen came back in, you watch as the young girl just sort of resumes her sort of lazy, nonchalant gaze back at her fingernails or the floorboards or the rafters up ahead or whatever it is that she can do to look as bored as possible. So she is certainly not paying much attention. And the other seems fully engrossed in taking small boxes of what appear to be like flour for cooking and just arranging them very, very slowly, one at a time on a shelf. Sort of sliding them into place. Seems to be currently using about 99% of his available resources.
Wow. We'll watch that for a little bit.
With your hands like that?
Yes.
You said, I'm going to put my himbo vision on real fast.
Precision.
Amazing.
Swing around. There's the splints. Cool.
You can see there is one wall that looks like it has a couple of small, like, medical kits that are seated there on various shelves, bits of bandages, splints that look like they are either a few wooden options available and then a few sort of short metal bars attached to various cloth wrappings.
Nice.
I'm sorry, the audio cut out. What'd you say?
Let's get the nice one. Okay. I'm paying for it.
Okay. You bring that back up to the front of the desk just as Oleander is finishing her conversation. During this time, Bree and Glass, anything you want to do?
I guess. Just trying to think if there's anything else I saw in here to buy.
I wish that you were at a table with me because I would just show you the list, but there I will link it to you all in the chat since I think, yeah, we're just about getting close to 10 o'clock here. Unless you want to continue going on for another 15 minutes or so, we can try to do that, or we can just sort of call this a good spot to sort of end the evening's game, in which case I can just send over that list to you, or I can just send it to you and you can approach it next time we play.
Can I either way, while all this is going on, I want to look for a cheap cloak with a hood.
Okay. Not too hard to find. There's a sort of a rack of various coats and tunics, and among them you are able to find what looks to be a cloak that just sort of fastens in the middle with a small metal buckle and has a hood on it. It's sort of a good, not quite blue, but like a stony, dark, cool gray color.
Cool. I'm gonna take that up and ask how much it is at the counter.
Just to expedite things here, the splint for you, Ambrose, unless you wanted to get anything else, will run you about 4 silver.
Just the splint.
Okay. And then the cloak is going to run you about 6.
6 silver? Cool.
I'll take a look at that list and purchase something on our way out, beginning of next, if I see anything.
And then forgive me, Oleander, did I leave you on any sort of a cliffhanger with what you were talking about? I can't recall.
No, I'm done.
As you purchase your goods, and you watch as Barthen makes his way outside and sort of grabs the young man who was stocking the shelves to assist him. He leads your horses off into the stable and then comes back with the two of them without the cart attached, and then the two of them return into there, and you can hear sort of the clanking and the sound of what sounds like them unloading the cart and taking those goods off for future use. You now have the two horses in front of you, and the rest of the town is at your disposal. Anything else that anybody else would like to do real quick before we end the game for the evening? This is probably a pretty good spot to stop.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Will do. We will resume next time with continuing to explore the quaint,
This perfectly quiet, unassuming, normal little town.
town of Phandalin, and
Definitely no
Very
city.
normal.
see what all it has to offer. But aside from that, thank you all for sticking with us through the show, and let's take a quick look at our donations. I think they are where they were when we checked them at the break, but I do want to go ahead and read the couple of donations that we got to say thank you to those folks. We have another $20 and some heart signs from Koi Husky. Thank you very much. And then a $10 donation with a yay, new pet for the party comment from Dr. Soul. Clearly very excited to see what happens with your little saber tooth. So Thank you very much, everybody, for your donations and all of your viewership and being active in the chat. We appreciate you all. And then until next Wednesday, we'll see you then.
Yeah. Have a good night, y'all. Catch us
Bye,
later. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe, ring that bell, and do that other stuff.
Helpaction.com and subscribe to all our social medias and make number go up.
Make number big.
Don't forget that, now thanks to Nero, you can go to thehelpaction.com. We have our own website, so go ahead and check that out. It has all of our relevant links and everything. Make sure you follow us on here, and we hope that we get to see you again next Wednesday at 7 o'clock, like we always do. See you later. Take care. We love you all.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.